We were discussing about the elementary signals. We had reached up to the unit impulse signal. The continuous time unit impulse signal delta of t is given by this equation. Delta of t is the notation used. Delta indicates impulse. T is the continuous time is equal to 0 for t not equal to 0. So t not equal to 0 means any value other than 0. So except that it equals to 0, all other values are 0. So this is how the signal looks like. Only at time t equals to 0, we have a long impulse. This indicates pulse. And the area under the curve for impulse signal, it is equal to 1. This delta function, it is also called Dirac delta function sometimes. Probably this you have seen in communication part. If any subject you have come across Dirac delta function, any digital communication part, then let us deal with the discrete time impulse signal. How we define discrete time? We cannot put directly delta of t is equal to 1 because it is a continuous time signal. Hence, we are indicating one arrow mark. However, as the discrete time signal has a specific time and specific amplitude, we can put delta of n directly as equal to 1. Fine. Integration area under the curve is 1 here. However, here the amplitude value directly for a discrete time impulse signal, it is equal to 1. Only at n is equal to 0. Otherwise, n not equals to 0 means any values, see left side and right side, we don't have any amplitude. Only at time n is equal to 0, here you will get the amplitude 1. This is about the impulse signal. Now, if you have observed here, in the first, after the ramp signal, I have written as a note. A ramp signal is the integral of unit signal. And here one more you can see, unit step signal is the integral of unit impulse signal. So what are these notes? These two notes, they indicate the relationship between the unit step, ramp and impulse signal. So let us see what are the relationship. I have already mentioned here in the note. Let's see how it works. I don't know whether this topic is important for you or not, but you should know. You should know how the relationship goes. So the first one, the relation between unit step and unit ramp. It is very simple. Directly, in order to find this relationship, you have to know how the ramp and the unit step are defined. Okay? In order to find this, you should know the definition of ramp signal. Let us go in reverse. First, we know that the ramp signal is given by this for t greater than or equal to 0, the value is t. This we have already studied. We have seen this in the previous lecture. And the value is 0 for otherwise. Left side, we don't have any signal. It looks like this. Somewhat like this. Okay. Now, in order to find the relationship, what we will do, we will try to differentiate this above equation with respect to time. Generally, in calculus, when you are dealing with mathematics, you use the variable as x, generally, okay? However, in case of signals, as the variable is time, either t or n, we generally go for differentiation integration with respect to the time. Okay, so differentiate with respect to t. If you differentiate it, check what you will get. Differentiation on the left hand side, I have kept it as it is. What is the differentiation of t? It is somewhat like differentiation of a variable with respect to its own, dx of x, which is equal to 1. That's why I have written it here, d by dt of d by dt, because the variable is t. And the 0 doesn't matter, it remains the same. Now, how this reduces to, what is d by dt by dt? It is equal to 1. And 0, keep it as it is. The ranges are as it is. Now look into this particular star equation. It looks like your unit step signal, right? For t greater than or equal to 0, amplitude is 1. For t less than 0, you are getting amplitude 0. It means somewhat like this. For less, we don't have any value, only here a step. A step will come like this. So this is nothing but your signal, unit step signal u of t. That's why LHS I have kept it as it is. The RHS, right hand side, is replaced by u of t. This is the relationship between a ramp and unit step. That's what the heading is. A relation between unit step and unit ramp signal. Now let us simplify this equation further, because you know that just like multiplication and division, they are the converse operators. Similarly, integration and differentiation, both are converse operators, right? So what I will do here, I will keep the numerator as it is here in the next step. In next step, I will take this denominator to the right hand side. Just simply take the denominator to the RHS. Now, integrate this equation. If you integrate this equation, what you will get? Just put as integration sign on both the sides. Then, here in the LHS, if you observe, there are two operators, differentiation and integration. If I multiply 2 with 1 by 2, what I will get? They gets cancelled, right? This is a multiplicand, this is the dividend. So whenever multiplication and division come, they gets cancelled. Likewise, integration and differentiation, they gets cancelled. You will be left with r of t, and this you keep it as it is. So what conclusion you can make from this? How you get the ramp signal? If you integrate unit step signal, you will get ramp signal. These are the two things to be observed. I have put it in this square, this boxes. You can observe. If you differentiate ramp, you will get unit signal, unit step signal. If you integrate unit signal, unit step, you will get ramp. These are the two relationships we have. This is one thing. Okay. The second thing is relation between unit step and impulse. If you observe here, in both these relationships, unit step signal is common. In the first relation, unit step with ramp. In the second, unit step with impulse. So let us start with the unit step signal. U of t, we know how it is defined in the form of an equation. You take this as it is, u of t equals to 1 or 0 depending on the time range. Now differentiate this with respect to the time. Okay, what do you mean by differentiation? You have already studied mathematics. Let me just show this. This is a unit step signal in continuous time domain. If you observe, differentiation is nothing but you are finding the difference, okay? At what point there is a difference. That's what you, I think, while deriving, while you go for in details, the concepts of calculus, you go for this f of n minus f dash of n, something like this. These terms are common to you. So differentiation you define as the difference. So if you observe the unit step signal, I have drawn it here on the screen, just observe the left hand side, continuously you are having the value 0. And if you observe the right hand side, continuously the value is 1. Okay. These two doesn't matter for you because on both left hand and right hand side, we are not finding any change. There is a constancy maintained in the amplitude value. But observe here, what happens at the time t equals to 0? There is a change over from 0 to 1, right? At this 0 point, your amplitude changes from 0 to 1. This step is coming here. So that's what here it is written. You can observe u of t changes from 0 to 1 at t equals to 0, and we are not getting any change. It is constant amplitude, left side and right side. That's what is written here. Okay, and differentiation, it is 0 for left hand and right hand. Why? Because we define the differentiation operator as finding the difference. Okay, what changes, what change has been done. But if you observe your unit step signal, it is like this. You are not finding any change on the left hand side and right hand side. Constancy is maintained in the amplitude. So the differentiation part of that for left side and for right side, sorry, this is right side and this is left side, it is 0. Okay, but except at a time t equals to 0. So u of t, it is changing from 0 to 1 at t equals to 0, center. So how I can write this above equation, differentiate this, left side is like this. Okay, u of t is d by dt of u of t. Here, instead of writing 1 and 0, this doesn't matter for you. Okay, 0 for left and right side, no change in the amplitude, it is 0. Difference is 0. Change is 0. But if you observe this value, 1, there is a change from 0 to 1. Okay, this is your actually differentiation equation. You can just go through your mathematics basics, calculus, you will find this equation. When you are doing the limits and differentiation operator, you will find this equation. At time t equals to 0, this is the value. Ultimately, if I observe this right hand side, don't go into depth of 0 by 0, right? It is 1 minus something is 1. 1 divided by 0 will be what? Infinity. At time t equals to 0. Let me draw this. Only at time t equals to 0, some long pulse like this, it is extending. Okay, I am not telling it as exactly equal to 1, but 1 minus 0, the change from 0 to 1 divided by starting point, that is 0. At time t equals to 0, this becomes 1 by 0, which is equal to infinity. What this signal is? This is actually your impulse signal. Only at t equals to 0, one pulse is there, which is extending up to infinity. So the RHS, whatever this differentiation is there, this is nothing but your impulse signal. So how can I write? Finally, differentiation of u of t is delta of t. Now further, if I just take this denominator to the right hand side, I have taken it here, then integrate on both sides. These integration and differentiation gets cancelled. LHS will be u of t and RHS keep it as it is. So in the square boxes, what all I have written is the relationship between unit step and impulse. If you differentiate unit step signal, you will find impulse. If you integrate the impulse, you will find unit step. So these are the two relationships we should know between the unit step, ramp and impulse. Important question. Okay, here I have just shown you all some 1 or 2 simple problems based on this. Not go into depth. Don't go here. These 2 problems, don't take it very into depth because still you don't know the backgrounds of few concepts. This is simple mathematics. Let us try to understand this. When we go through some higher level concepts, you will understand it better. Okay, this is the problem given. One signal x of t is given to you, which is equal to u of t minus u of t minus a. Now, u of t you know already. Okay, how you define unit step you know, but you don't know what is u of t minus a. That's what I'm telling you. You don't know the basics still. Okay, just now we have started. Just assume that it is one kind of signal. Later on, we'll come to know how to draw u of t minus a. Okay, this is the given question. We have to find the derivative. Derivative means we have to go for differentiation. So let us start. Differentiation, we apply to this above given equation. So LHS will be d by dt of x of t. RHS will be just simply I have put d by dt of this. Okay. Then apply this differentiation to both the terms. I have just separated it. After this, just now we have seen when you differentiate unit step, what we will get. You can just see where it is. Here it is. If you differentiate unit step, see here, if you differentiate, you will get the delta impulse. That's what is being replaced here for the first term. Now, for d by dt of u of t minus a, no doubt whenever step signal is differentiated, you will get impulse. So this is also a step signal only, but you have, it is not simply t, it is having the bracket term t minus a. So let's not bother about that. What we will do, instead of writing simply delta of t, the same shift I will put it, delta of t minus a. Okay, as for now, this much is sufficient for you to understand. This is first problem. Similarly, this is the second problem I have just listed here. Similar kind of problem, you can see the same term has been used, but it is multiplied with t. It is somewhat like, you should be knowing this, u into v form for differentiation. How you differentiate UV form. Okay, I hope you are good with these basics. U into V or U by V. You know how to differentiate a multiplicand when there is a product and when there is a division. So let us start. This is the given equation. We will differentiate this equation with respect to time. So LHS will be like this. Simply x of t. I will put this as d by dt of x of t. RHS will be d by dt of this. Okay. Now, it is UV form. Let me just write that UV form. What is the differentiation? It is a bit difficult for me to write it. I am using the mouse. UV. If this is the case, the formula is d by dx of u into, this is one differentiation, multiplied by v plus d by dx of v, one more differentiation, multiplied by u, right? So similarly, instead of u and v, we have first term as a t, second term is bit bigger, that is this minus, okay, subtraction. So let us try with this formula. I hope you have taken this formula so that even if I can erase, it is okay for you. UV form for differentiation is, this is the formula. Now let me continue. So this is one term, u into d by dt of v plus v into d by dt of u. This is your u, this is your v. Okay. So this I have kept it as it is. Differentiation just now in the previous problem we have solved this. I have put it directly here. And next, keep this as it is. Differentiation of t with respect to t is 1. So it is as simple as that. Just for your understanding, simple practice, these two problems I have put. Below you can see I have listed few properties of impulse function. Just list these properties as for now. Once we the concepts we get into, as the concepts we learn, whenever required, I make use of these properties and I make sure that you people understand these properties. Okay. Just I forgot here one more thing. Here you have to write, this is for continuous time, this is for discrete time. Okay. So I have listed few properties of impulse function. Impulse means delta, either delta of t for continuous or delta of n for discrete. Okay, this we have already seen. Okay, while defining the impulse signal, we define area under the curve for impulse signal is equal to 1. And if you just check it, if the same thing, if I multiply with some constant, I will get k. Okay, k into 1. Okay, and here you can just see this. If you multiply any signal with delta, what you get? See, assume that this is your some signal x of t. Okay, and you know already how impulse is defined. It is only present at this 0 point, no other values, left hand and right hand. So only whatever amplitude you have the given signal at t equals to 0, that should be multiplied with impulse. Okay, only this center point matters while multiplying. That's what is written here. Okay, but it is as good as you multiply delta with x of 0. What is x of 0? The center part of the given x of n. X of t. Okay? And the same thing, shifted version is written here. As for now, you simply list them. Whenever we go for these concepts in detail, I will take these and explain you. Because you are still not into depth of the concepts to understand these. Just let us list these. Okay. So I hope you have understood elementary signals. We completed elementary signals. 6 plus 6, 12 elementary signals we completed. Just check this. Okay. If you observe, we are now here under classification of signals. Okay. And the next one is basic operations on signals. In classification, we have seen this already, and just now we completed this. Ideally, we should have proceeded with the next classification, right? Remaining some 4, even, odd, periodic, non-periodic, energy and power, this deterministic and random. But as in order to understand these concepts, you will come across certain analytical problems. Okay, for these kind of problems, you need to know how a signal is drawn. In order to understand how a signal is drawn, you should know this concept. Basic operations on signals. Hence, before we move to the next concept, that is energy and even and odd, or whatever next classification, let us go for basic operations performed on the signals. If you have attended the previous lectures of mine, in the introductory class, I have told you that in the general classification of signals, one-dimensional and multi-dimensional signals are present. One-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional signals are present. So in that, the meaning of one-dimensional signal is the signal is dependent on one variable, that is my voice signal. My voice signal is dependent on time only. Likewise, image will be presented in the form of pixels, right? So it has got a dependency on more than one variables. So likewise, when we are going to deal with the basic operations on the signals, we should check on for your syllabus, it is for one-dimensional signal. As I told you, for example, my voice signal, say this is my voice signal which is varying, whose amplitude is varying with respect to time. Okay. So there are two different aspects here. This is, assume that this is my voice signal. This is my voice x of t. This variation indicates your amplitude, right? This is your amplitude and this is your time. So out of these two parameters, time and amplitude, the amplitude is called dependent variable. Okay. So we have two aspects here. One is my voice is varying, the amplitude, the tone, the value of amplitude, it is changing. Okay, it is not same throughout. I am speaking in a different tone. It is changing with respect to time. So the amplitude is called dependent variable and the time is called independent variable. Okay, remember this, independent variable. So there are two aspects, dependent and independent, so as your basic operations. So for any signal, you can have operations on amplitude or operations on time. Okay, so you are going to study two different operations. One is on amplitude, the other one is on time. Okay, so in the next class we will be starting the basic operations on signals. Preferably we will start with the dependent variable amplitude, then after completion of that we will move to the independent variable. So I hope you understood today's class. Any doubts, you can just ask me. You can put it in the chat box if you have doubts. Any doubts? Anybody? Please ask me. Shall I wait? Fine. Okay, we will then continue with the basic operations performed on the signals, amplitude and the time in the next class. Thank you so much for joining.